Hello? Is this thing on?
Testing.
Jelly. We're finally doing it. After a year and a half of talking about it.
After countless meetings.
We had meetings, we had names, we had the setup. Everything was ready except for us.
But I remember saying in divine timing.
Divine
It's gonna
timing.
happen. When it's meant to happen, it'll happen. So, but anyways, welcome.
Welcome! We have a podcast. I am so excited, and I'm glad to be doing it with you.
Yes,
and
we're gonna have some good talks. And what can they expect?
Well, what's the name of our podcast?
Oh yeah, tell me something good.
We're here to tell you something that is hopefully good and valuable. It may be not always valuable, but something that you laugh at. Motivation and even some of the battles that we've faced that a lot of people may not know. Things that we've dealt with that, yes, on social media, it looks like we have it all together, and we don't have it all together. And I think that that's important to show that side of us.
Yeah, to be vulnerable, and because everybody's going through something. So today's topic, later on, we're going to discuss is overcoming fear, putting yourself out there even though you're scared, like right now. And yeah, so we'll get to that later on. But we want to talk about ourselves a little bit, just so y'all can get to know us.
We want to talk about ourselves. This whole podcast is going to be about us, okay? But we do want to talk about ourselves, just so you can, like she said, get to know us and where we come from and why we are passionate about this.
Yes, how we know each other.
Yes.
So let's start with you.
Okay, so I am Jackie Munoz. A lot of people may know me for, working at my parents' restaurant at Taco Loco or real estate. I've been a real estate agent for almost 5 years, and I have just always been passionate about just self-help, improving yourself, and reading, and just pretty much just improving yourself in different ways to overcome things within yourself. So I recently got my life coaching certificate, so I'm starting that this year, which I'm so excited about. And
she's gonna help so many of y'all.
Like, well,
you will, like, with your knowledge and everything.
Yeah, and I think it's helped me a lot too, because I've worked with people and women, and a lot of the things that they tell me without them realizing it, I feel like I'm going through too. And it's about just asking the questions, and when I'm asking them these questions, I'm asking myself those questions. And a lot of those questions came up when we talked about starting a podcast. Like, why have we not done it? What are we afraid of? Why are we want it so bad, but we don't start it? And times just keep passing. And yes, divine timing. But will we ever be ready?
Yeah.
Will we ever be, like, for me, like today, I didn't want to be on here because I have 3 pimples, maybe 5 pimples on my face. But you know what? It's okay, and I think that's the side of myself that I'm learning to embrace the imperfections and showing my vulnerability, because obviously with social media, it's just, we want to show y'all the best sides of us, but I want to show y'all the real side of me. And I feel like I'm actually ready to show that side of me now. Yeah.
That was good.
Was that good? So yeah, that's who I am. And I have a dog. I don't have kids. It's just me, myself, and my dog.
Yeah, so I'm Angelica. I go by Jelly. Whatever y'all want to call me. I feel like I'm still trying to figure out, like, my career. Recently I've been like, okay, why am I scared to have more? Like, reflecting on that. And I am a single mom. He's about to be 13 in like 2 months.
My God.
Yeah, I know.
A teenager.
And I'm 31. I just turned 31 in December. And yeah, I'm just ready to put myself out there, because I think that's something that I've always struggled with, was like not wanting to be seen, like, I hate my voice, all these things that we tell ourselves. But now I'm just like, if I don't do it now, like, when? Like they say, day one or one day. Like, you pick.
That is good. That is good.
So this is our day one, and I'm really excited to open up and talk and grow and hopefully grow a community of people.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was beautiful. That was amazing. And and I forgot to say I am 26. No, 20. I'll be 27 in 2 weeks. But yeah, and I think that we both share that in common.
Yeah.
And we're actually second cousins.
Yes.
So we both have the same last name, Munoz,
Yep.
and we're second cousins. And we didn't get close until last year
Yeah.
because she started working at the Taco Loco, and we
Yeah.
worked together. And I've always had like this connection to you, like
Yes. Like I
she
don't know if you remember, but like when you were little. Okay, so we lived on the same trailer park.
Mhm.
Growing up, old Pepsi Land.
Oh yes, Pepsi Land! Shout out to Pepsi Land.
But it was really, what was the name of it? Dusty Street?
Dusty Road. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was a dusty
So
road too, but
yeah, it was like
we
a bunch
loved
of
it.
cousins
It was
like on that street. It was so much fun growing up.
mm,
And then Jackie moved away, and I remember thinking like she's moving so far, but it
mhm.
literally was 30 minutes away.
It felt far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we recently reconnected, and I feel like everything happens for a reason.
I
You
think
know?
so too. And every time we worked together, we would just talk and talk.
Yeah.
I feel like my brother had to get on to us, but and then we would still like all of us hang out after work, and it was always deep conversations. It
Yes.
wasn't like those people that you can have those deep conversations with. I feel like that's how we are. Like we
Never
just
surface level. Like we're always
like
just
deeper. Like
deep.
what do we want out of this life?
Yes.
Like why are we not doing? We'll be at the bar. Like
Yeah.
every actually the other day we all hung out outside my house and we were having drinks, and my best friend Lexi was like, yeah, I just sat there listening to y'all have like a whole like therapy session with each other, and I didn't even realize that we were just having a regular conversation. And
Yeah.
I just sometimes we'll talk and we'll be like, we could have just had a camera on us at that
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
But we're excited. I'm excited. I
I'm
was so
very
excited. So yeah, I think overcoming fear is something that we've had to, even right now, I'm a little scared, but
Yeah.
at the same time, what are we scared of?
And I feel like fear is not even real. Like it's all mental. Like it's not
Mhm.
even real. It's not like we're chained up and can't do something. You know, it's literally
Exactly.
like chains on your brain. And
Yes.
it's like you just have to realize that. And I don't know. I think everybody's always scared of something, but something that I realized kind of recently, I would say within the past year, is that you don't have to like give in to your feelings. Like if I'm
Mhm.
scared, you can still do it.
Mhm.
And it is hard, but you can't let that stop you.
You can't. And I think the hardest part is looking back at your life and saying,
Mhm.
I didn't do this.
Yes.
It's hard to do those things, to get in front of the camera right now and be
Mhm.
vulnerable. But I think the hardest part is in a year from now, we look back and we
Yeah.
feel like we failed ourselves.
Like literally time is gonna pass whether you do it or
Mhm.
not.
And at the end of the day, it's like we're doing something that's eventually it's helping ourselves.
Mhm.
And of course, the best part about it is it hopefully helps other people. But
Mhm.
I'm like, if this can even make me and you, if we're like the only
Yes.
people who we get excited about this, if this is
Yeah.
what we want to do, then I am happy with that. But I do hope that we can, help somebody or
Yeah.
motivate somebody to overcome something that we, from our own stories. And
Mhm.
because I mean, yes, we even just like I was almost gonna not do this today because I was kind
Yeah.
of scared. But and then I look back and I'm like, what am I scared of? I'm scared of people judging me, because
Mhm.
at the end of the day, we're always going to be judged.
Always.
Always going to be judged. And I think that's where a lot of our fear came from at the end of the day. The
Mhm.
fear that we had before about starting a podcast
Yeah.
was like, okay, because we even posted on our Instagram.
Yeah.
We had the setup. We're like, podcast coming soon.
Yeah.
And it never happened.
Yeah.
So
And I think too, I was watching influencers podcast. Like she just started, and I was reading the comments, and people were like, "Everybody's starting a podcast. Like not everybody needs a podcast, you know." And I'm like, "Why are there people like that?"
people are gonna say that too, probably about us. Like,
Yeah.
oh wow, now they want to start a podcast, or now they're doing this, and it's like, yeah, we
We
are,
are,
and
and
we're different. We're not. There's
Mhm.
not two people who are identical. There could be a million people with a podcast.
Mhm.
It's not gonna be the same. So
Yeah, exactly.
and I
Everybody
can I
has.
can already hear that too. Like, oh wow, they're starting,
Yeah,
which is fine, and
it's fine.
and that is true. I think I know I watch podcasts too where people comment or they'll say, yeah, like wow, just another we just what we needed, another podcast.
Yeah.
Or even here, let me tell you a story. Like even here in Asheboro, when there's a restaurant, people are like, "Oh, just what we needed, another restaurant in Asheboro." And I'm like, what is wrong with people wanting to start a business here?
Yes.
But that is true. That is what I
And they're
mean.
always people are always gonna have something negative to say. Just take that first step and go from there. Like don't like stress about where you want to be or whatever. Just I think like eventually you'll get to where you're meant to be.
Yes. Just
So yeah.
doing it, putting in action, and knowing that it's not going to be perfect. There's a
Mhm.
quote, or I forgot how it goes, but it says, "Done is better than perfect." Like
Yes.
if we strive to be perfect, we'll never get anything
Never.
done. So yeah, done is better than perfect. This is our done. Like we're doing this. It's not going to be perfect, and that's what I hope that people can see, that this is not
Mhm.
for us to be here and show y'all the best sides of us. This is for us
Right.
to show y'all the real sides of things that we've gone through, and you know, even hearing from other people. And we want to have people on here.
Yes.
Eventually, this is going to change. Like this setup
Yeah.
will eventually, upgrade some things and have space for somebody else to join us and talk about their journey, talk about what they've been through. And
Yeah,
I
eventually we'll invest in better equipment. Right
mhm.
now we're starting with the phone and these little mics and
And these chairs that
yeah.
are, you know what? These chairs are really
I
comfortable.
was gonna say they're actually comfortable.
They are so
Like
comfortable. But yeah, so eventually things are going to change. But right now, it's about just putting it out there and
Mhm.
doing it. I'm so proud of us.
I am too. Like
Cheers.
we finally
Cheers.
are doing it.
What are some of the fears that you feel like you've had to overcome, or that you have now?
hmm I think my biggest fear was like being seen.
Hmm.
And recently I've been like, I deserve to take up space. Even like hating my voice or
First of all, you have the most beautiful
no,
voice, and
I feel like people are like, you're so country. And I'm
no, that is cute. I like the country, but you literally have the
like
sweetest voice. So I think it's all in.
in your head,
Hmm.
kinda, yeah. I feel like now this is helping because I'm putting myself out there for like on the internet, you never know who's gonna see, who's
Yeah.
gonna say what.
Hmm.
So this is definitely helping a lot too.
Yes, and I feel like I don't know why you're afraid. Like, first of all, look at you. And
No.
I'm just, but everyone goes through their own
Yeah.
things. And no one would ever guess that that's something that,
Mhm.
because
And
you're,
it's literally all in your head. Like
hmm
people probably don't think that. Like some people probably say to me like she's stuck up or she doesn't talk or she's so, but
hmm
I'm like literally I'm fighting for my life in my head.
yes.
Like
You're like, I don't even, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
like it's I thought you wouldn't get it unless you get it, like
Hmm.
with anxiety and stuff. And anxiety is like fear driven. Like literally you
Hmm.
fear the future. I've had like death anxiety
Hmm.
and then I've been like, okay, so I'm gonna die, we're all gonna die. The only thing in life that's guaranteed is death. So you can either like make it the best you can
Hmm.
or just, go and when it's your time, just yeah, I think that's helped though. So I feel like fear can help because it shows you like you want to grow,
Hmm.
and you're scared of that. So yeah, I think
And then
that's
it's like, am I afraid, or am I anxious to start something, like, or
yeah.
am I excited to start
Yeah.
something? Or it's like it's all these emotions that
Mhm.
show up as fear. And sometimes I feel like there's times where I've been afraid of things, and really I'm just excited.
So what about you?
I think one of my fears has been, I guess, almost similar, but being judged by others, or
Mhm.
being seen in a negative way. Like when I started real estate, I kind of made like a whole, like, makeover on myself.
Mhm.
I felt like I had to show up as professional. I couldn't show up as who I really was, because I didn't want to give off the wrong idea. Literally completely switch who I was,
Mhm.
and it messed with me really bad for the last 5 years. This past year, I finally said, like, why have I had to censor who I am?
Mhm.
When I was great before, why I felt like I had to just come off as professional. I can't do this. I can't post this on TikTok because I don't want to scare off potential clients. I don't want to, you know, give people the wrong idea, but at the end of the day, I've come to the realization that if someone doesn't want to work with me, then they're not my person. And
Mhm.
I know I'm not hurting anybody. I know I'm not doing anything that
Yeah.
offends anyone, at least not on purpose. I would never purposely try to offend somebody. So why am I trying to censor myself so much? Like, and it goes back to when I first started real estate, hearing, oh, you have to wear this, you have to do that. And I was night no,
Did
I
they
was
teach you that?
well, not I just heard it from people, like,
Yeah.
at 20 years old. Was I 20? I think I was 20, and I felt that I had to change up, and that's something that I would like to kinda dive in later on,
Mhm.
but yeah, there was just so many things that I was told when I started from people that were in the same business, right?
Mhm.
So, I got that programmed in my head that who I was not gonna be good enough for real estate, so I had to change it up. I had to tweak some things. And that has led me for almost 5 years of me censoring myself, and I'm done doing that. I'm like, I don't
Mhm.
do anything to offend anyone, and if someone feels offended, then I would hope they would come to me and have that conversation, but I don't know. And if what I post, like, I even posted a TikTok of me twerking with Carla, and I was
Mhm. I love that
no,
TikTok.
but I almost was like, "Oh gosh, this is bad. This is really bad." So I had to ask my sisters. I'm like, "What do y'all think?" And they just said, "What's wrong about it?" And
Yeah.
so I've had to, come to that. Like, I'm finding myself again, and
I think that's what you have to do is surround
mm,
yourself with people who like are gonna keep it real. Like they can
yes,
be like, "Girl, that's too much. Take it down," or like,
yes,
"There's nothing wrong with that." Like
hmm
so that's what helps a lot.
yes. And then I think that was my biggest fear, is being judged and being seen from just in the real estate aspect. But now, like, I really want to dive into life coaching, and if doing that, I want to motivate others to be themselves, to not be afraid to show who they are. So I have to set the example.
Yes.
That's how I feel. I'm like, if I want to preach this to the women that I'm talking to, or whoever I talk to, I want to
Yeah.
show them that, okay, look, I'm doing it, and it's
Yeah.
just fine. But yeah, I think that's been one of my biggest fears. And I was reading a book, and it talked about that exact thing, about being afraid of judgment. And it said, get a little, I think I told you this the other day, a little sheet of paper and write down the few people whose opinion actually matters to you.
Mhm.
And mine would be like my sister,
Mhm.
or that's it. So whenever you overthink something, call them and get their opinion. Other than
Oh
that,
yeah,
everyone
same.
else is silent. Like,
Yeah.
so I think that really changed my perspective too. Because why am I so afraid of what others think? People who don't even know
Mhm.
me, or
And something that helps me too is like you remember we were talking about how we like Tana and Brooks podcast,
yes, I
and I
love
feel
them.
like they overshare,
Yeah,
like a lot. But
yes.
I love it. Like that's
Uh-huh.
why we love them. But also, I also think about how I'll watch the episode and be like, oh my god, they're wild, and go on with my life. Like I don't,
Judge
I'm
them.
not all day like they're so crazy. Like I literally move on with my life,
You're
and
not
that's
like, oh
that.
my god, Brooke really
Yeah.
did that. No, I'm just like, damn, that's wild. And then
Yeah,
like,
and literally
okay.
move on. Like
Mhm.
so just like it's I don't want to say like we're not important, but we're not like in as much as we think, like we don't matter to people as much as we
We
think we
don't
do.
occupy their brain as
Yeah.
much as we think we
Yeah,
do.
maybe a thought or maybe a little comment or whatever, but everybody pretty much moves on with their life.
Mhm.
Like it's not that serious.
It's really not that serious. That's the thing. It's not that
It's
serious. That's
not.
the whole purpose. Like, it's life and you're right. Like, eventually we're literally all gonna die.
Yeah.
And let's make the best out of this life that we're
Mhm.
not promise how long we're here, and have fun with it. Like, this is fun to me.
Yeah,
This
this
is
is so
like,
fun.
it is so fun, and it's just us right now. Like, we're literally alone in my house. It's just us, and this is fun to me. And I think that if that brings us enjoyment and
Mhm.
happiness, then why the F not?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is the year of overcoming our fears, of overcoming the obstacles that we make up
Yeah, we
in our own
literally
head.
make up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And do things that make us happy.
Yeah. I think of another fear I had was like being misunderstood
Mhm.
because especially with social media, it's easy to be misunderstood.
I think we look at people on social media and we feel like we know them.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
we're like, oh yeah, we know them, but you truly don't know
You
somebody.
don't.
We know what they choose to show us, and
Mhm.
people think they know us from what we say. And sometimes we may not say things perfectly. I
Yeah.
might say something and then probably not even think about it, and someone might
Yeah.
overtake it.
Interpret it differently.
Yeah. I will say, and this is so true, is that people who are gonna like you are gonna like you. People who
Mhm.
are not gonna like you are gonna find any reason not to like us. They're gonna say
Exactly.
our voice is annoying. They're gonna
Yes.
say and that's just what the way it is. So
Yeah.
and it's okay. It's okay. I'm not gonna cry about it. I mean, I might because I'm like, dude, what did I do? But it's okay. We'll get over it.
Yeah. We will. Nobody's perfect, so.
Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect.
What are ways to like overcome fear? Something that helps me is like meditation.
Mhm.
Like sometimes I feel like you're just in your head so much and you just need to like just have quiet and just, your thoughts, just let them run through and like, okay, I feel this way. And that's kind of like what helped. I feel like that helped like us be here right now
Mhm.
because like I told you, I did the bartending class and then I was so scared to message you. I don't know why. Like
Oh my
in
god.
literally in my head, I'm like
Mhm.
because y'all had the bar, it
Mhm.
had just opened or whatever. So, I did a meditation. And I was like, it's not that serious. If they say no, okay. And literally, you offered me a job. I was like, I'll volunteer. And you're like,
Mhm.
you hired me, whatever. So, and then that led to like now,
Mhm.
So
Literally, if you had never messaged
literally,
me, we wouldn't be here right now.
just think about how what is your fear holding you back from? Like, it's holding you back from people, opportunity.
I love
Meditation
that.
helps a lot.
Yeah, I would say for me it would be journaling and
Hmm.
calling some like a lot of times when I feel nervous, or I was on another podcast and I was so nervous to be on it last year, and I called my sister and I'm like, I need you to give me a pep talk right now, and she's like, you got this. And I think someone was like, Jackie effing Munoz does not get nervous, and I'm like, you're right. Like, and it's just like
Yeah.
sometimes it takes someone else to believe in you. Just having someone that you can trust and talk to. But journaling
Hmm.
really helps me. Just writing out like, all right, Jackie, breathe. And I will write, breathe. Why are we feeling like this? And then sometimes it just feels bigger once you put it on paper. It's
Yeah.
not that big. And you look back and you're just like, okay, I got this. Thank you, God.
My faith has helped me a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
Like recently I've gotten closer to God and stuff. And I'm like, I literally got I will fear no evil for thou art with me, like the Bible verse tattooed on me. That
Oh
was my
my
first tattoo
gosh.
ever. And I feel like back then I liked it a lot, but now it means a lot to me. Like God's always with me. What am I scared of?
Yes.
Like literally give it to God and I pray, I'm scared. I don't, please just be with me. And just I feel like it helps a lot to put it onto God. Like
Mm-hmm.
you have this.
Just feeling like you have that support with God.
Mhm.
But yeah, sometimes when I'm scared, I just imagine I don't know if this is, but I imagine like angels around me
Oh, yeah.
and I feel better. Like
Yeah.
I just imagine angels like at night if I hear something and I'm scared, I just imagine like angels surrounding my
Mhm.
body like, and I swear it helps me feel better. But I think having a relationship with God, I've been trying to have a closer relationship with God, and I have realized how much it has helped me even with my
Mhm.
anxiousness and my
Mhm.
nervousness, like just having that relationship with God, or whatever you believe in, and
Yeah.
um knowing that there is, and having that, just having the faith
Yeah.
makes you feel safe.
Yeah.
you know so proud of us for this.
I
We've been, like we said, we've been talking about this for since June of
Yes.
2022. Divine timing, I believe in that too. I think that if we would have started it then, maybe we wouldn't have had the
Yeah.
wisdom we have now.
Mhm.
You know, at that time, I wasn't ready to be myself. I wasn't ready to really show the
Yeah.
world who I really was, because I was still in that mindset of I have to put on this persona for
Mhm.
real estate. And now I'm over that. And
Yeah.
I don't think that I would have shown my best side at that
Yeah.
time. And I wouldn't have kept it as real as I'm ready to keep it real now. So I think that that's why it didn't make sense then and it does
Yeah.
now. How are you feeling?
I feel a lot better. Like just when we started, I'm not gonna lie, I was like scared. I was like, I gotta get my favorite wine, my comfort
Mhm.
wine. But I feel a lot better, and I feel like that's what it's about with
Yeah.
fear. Like, just take the first step, and it's not as bad as you're like making it seem in your head. Like,
Mhm.
So
just doing it, taking
just
the
do it.
action, and thinking about what's the worst that can happen. What is the
Mhm.
worst that can happen here right now? We suck. And then
We get hate
we
comments.
get, and what? And what? And what's
And
good?
then
And
what?
then
Like,
what?
life goes on.
Life goes on, and we'll laugh about it when we're 60. And we'll
Yeah.
say, remember when we started that podcast? But then what is the best thing that could happen? The best thing is that we put content out there that others
Mhm.
enjoy and that we enjoy making and that we have
Yeah.
fun making. And yeah, that's, what's the worst? What's the best? And let's just
Yeah.
go with that, because the worst isn't even that bad.
It's
We can
not.
take it,
Yeah.
but don't do it. We'll take like constructive criticism. And
Yeah,
if
we
there's
will.
anything that anyone wants to hear us talk about, we are an
Message us.
open book. We are just excited to start.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Go follow all the socials for this podcast. I'll have them linked below. And follow us on socials, message us with topics.
Yeah, and if you have questions or you want some advice from us, it'll be 100% anonymous. Like, you can send
Mhm.
us things that you're going through, and you're like, "Hey, I need some advice." And
Yeah.
we can see what we can both come up with together, because
Yeah.
we've been through different things in life, me and
Yeah.
her, and we have different perspectives about things. So yeah, if you have any like advice that you need or any questions that you may have for us, feel free to message us.
And overcome your fear. Like, this is your sign right now. Like, if there's anything that you want to do, it's the perfect time. It's the start of 2024. And I don't know, I feel so optimistic about this year. Like, I just feel
Mhm.
like just take the steps and like everything's gonna align.
Overcome your fear, and yeah, ask yourself, what is the worst thing that can happen if I do this? And
Mhm.
if it's really bad, then maybe, but usually it's just, hey,
Usually
you
what
might
you want to
get.
do is to better yourself or
Mhm.
better your life or for the better. I don't think nobody wants to overcome a fear of like something terrible, like usually.
Like, let's see how many beers I can drink before I black out. That's not a good fear, but I
Yeah.
I do want to say that if you're afraid of failure, and if you're, that's a fear that a lot of us have.
Mhm.
But if you're not failing at something, you're not doing or
Yeah,
trying
you're not
something new.
growing. Like, if you're not failing, you're not
You're
growing.
not
Like,
growing. And how exciting it is to say, hey, I failed at that, but I tried.
yes.
So just knowing that whatever you do, it's you can always pick yourself back up, and you can gain something from whatever you try to do, a lesson.
Mhm.
If this fear is keeping you up at night because you are so excited to one day start this, if this is a
Mhm.
vision that you have that is literally keeping you up at night, that you talk about all the time, that is in your mind, then do it.
Yeah.
Do it, because if it's occupying your mind,
It's there for a
it's there
reason.
for a reason.
Yes.
And you don't want to look back at your life and say, I wish I would have done this,
Mhm.
but I was too afraid of this or that.
The most successful people are probably scared before they do things, and they
Yeah.
do it anyways. That's the difference between those people, the 1%, of people, is that they do it anyways and
I love
they
that.
try
Oh, I got
again.
chills. I love that. That is true. That's the only
It's the
difference.
difference.
We're all human. We're
Yeah.
all human. And I think having that as a reminder, it kind of puts you at ease. Like, we're
Mhm.
all human, dude. This is our first time living this. Let's be more compassionate with
Yeah.
ourselves mostly.
Yes.
And I think that's where, when we're afraid of something, it's because we're not being compassionate with ourselves. We're being hard
Mhm.
on ourselves.
We're our worst critics,
Yes.
literally.
But I think this is the year that you overcome whatever fear that is. And if you don't know how to do it, you know what? Ask somebody.
Mhm.
Ask, hey, I want to do this. Let me reach out to the person that's doing it. And don't be afraid to do something because someone else is doing it. At the end of the day, you are you, and there's no one else like you. And I remember when I started real estate years later, more people got into real estate, and
Mhm.
I never cared. Like, I'm just like, okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I would hear all the time, "Oh wow, now everybody wants to get into real estate. Now everybody wants to do this." Not like just from other real estate
Yeah.
agents, and I'm just like, "And what?" So don't be afraid to do something just because somebody else is doing it, because, "Oh wow, I'm going to get judged because now I went." Do it, because do it scared. What is that? Do it scared anyway.
Yeah. If you're scared, do it anyways.
Do it anyway. And there's an example of us doing it, because
Yes.
We were scared, and now I'm like, what the heck?
Like, why? This is the
Why are we
easiest thing
so,
I've ever done. Yeah, so be on the lookout for more episodes. I feel like we got the ball rolling. So
We have some topics already in mind that we want to talk about, and we, like I said, we're open to any and all suggestions and questions. But yeah, we're excited, and we are shooting every week.
mm-hmm.
So expect us every week. And if we don't, then call us out.
If you stayed here to the very end, thank you so much.
Thank you. We love you. And we hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, we love
Stay
you.
tuned.
Stay tuned.
Bye.
Bye.